The following is a Simpronto media production.
Leaders, real life leaders.
Hey guys, this episode is from the Grow and Scale Now Summit, where top entrepreneurs and leaders are going to help you take your business to the next level. To get your free ticket, go to growandscalenow.com. Now to the episode.
Hey guys, welcome to today's talk. And we have Jeb Blount with us today. Jeff, welcome. Tell listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm the CEO of a company called Sales Gravy. We're a global training and development and consulting company working primarily with companies who want to accelerate growth. I'm also the author of 11 books, including the one right behind me, which is my brand new book, Inked. And my headquarters are in Georgia, and we are a hyper-growth company.
Awesome. So let's start by talking about your newest book, Angel. What is kind of the tips that you tell people in there of what they need to do to kind of grow and scale?
Well, Inked is primarily a sales negotiation book. So it's written for sales professionals, so people who are dealing with people who are buying. So it's not written for you negotiating as a consumer, and it's specifically focused on that. And what we teach in Inked are frameworks that allow you to bend win probability in your favor. Primarily the premise of the book is that buyers typically have more power going into negotiations than sellers do. And that's simply because they have more information, they're getting more quotes from other sellers, there's more competition out there, and they have more options. So one of their options, for example, is to do nothing. So for sellers working with buyers, especially savvy buyers, you have to bend the probability in your favor that you're going to win by neutralizing the alternatives that the buyer has, by increasing their motivation to do business with you emotionally, and by using your leverage in order to engineer the relationship so that you make that possible.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things that people do a lot is that I've seen a lot of businesses that they are good at kind of creating content, they're good at creating systems, and then they forget all about the sales piece of it. So their whole mindset, and they've got too many people who are content creators and not sales. Talk about that for a minute.
Well, it's a big problem for businesses. I mean, it's the build it and they will come mentality, the field of dreams mentality. So a lot of people start a business, and what they do is they plan to actually sell something. So they build content, write a blog, get on Facebook, get on LinkedIn. They create a podcast. They get their business cards set up, and they get their letterhead set up, and they build their logo, and they do all of these things. Except for none of that brings in sales. So sales is a human-to-human endeavor. I mean, clearly, if you're doing a B2C type play and you're bringing people into, say, your Shopify store, then marketing is going to be your number one play. But if you are in B2C, high-end B2C like real estate or insurance, or you're in B2B sales, so you're selling to other businesses, planning to plan is not going to make it happen. And trust me, you can build a field of dreams. They are not going to come. You have to go out and you have to prospect and you have to find those businesses. So content marketing, for example, plays a role in that. Social media plays a role in that because it creates familiarity. But that's much more marketing than it is sales. Sales is going out, engaging a prospect in a conversation, learning about what they need, and then building a bridge or a value bridge from their needs, their problems, their issues, their opportunities to how you're able to solve those problems and those issues and those or help them achieve those or acquire those opportunities. So for businesses, you have to do both. And content, when we talk about content is marketing. It is not sales. It is marketing. And it is built for two reasons. One, to bring leads in, to generate leads. And two, to do brand recognition so people get to know who you are and you build your brand around that, whether it's your personal brand or your company brand. And it builds familiarity. So it creates familiarity. People see you as an expert or a thought leader. They get to see your name. They see your face. And familiarity breeds liking. Familiarity is a big piece of prospecting because the more familiar people are with you, the more likely they are to engage. But it's so important for business professionals to understand that there is a big difference between marketing and sales. Those two things go together and they're matched up, but you can't have one without the other if you want to grow your business.
Hey guys, I want to take a minute real quick to tell you about this retreat that I'm putting together. It's going to be just 10 lucky people that I'm going to select, and we are going to stay in a 5-star resort in Miami, and it's going to be pamper time. But the most important thing, I'm going to open up my books. I'm going to show you everything. You're going to leave there with my Word docs. You're going to leave with a USB drive with all the information that I've possibly done, every system in place. A lot of times you go to these conferences, you get all jazzed up, but you don't walk away with anything. You're going to walk away with this retreat with tons of systems. Go to chantelray.com/retreat to learn more.
Calling all entrepreneurs, leaders, and business owners. Are you looking to grow and scale your business to help more people, increase your profits, and build the business of your dreams? Then you need to attend the Grow and Scale Now Summit, a free virtual event where you can learn from top leaders and thinkers who have grown and scaled their businesses by the millions. Unlock your potential and discover the secrets to take your business to the next level. Click the link in the show notes to claim your free ticket.
I love that. And let's give people a really good analogy of this. So let's pretend that they're starting a new business. Like you said, they went to Facebook, they're doing a Facebook page, they're creating content, maybe they're creating a funnel, maybe they're doing something where they say, 5 tips. Let's just make up a business. Let's say a lawn care business. So they're doing different pictures of lawns. They're doing, 5 tips on how to get your lawn to look better, all of that. So now what is the sales piece they're missing?
Well, if I was starting a lawn care business, the last thing I would do is write an article on 5 tips to make your lawn better. The first thing I would do is get my rear end out on the street and go knock on some doors. I would go into neighborhoods and knock on doors, and I would say, I take care of lawns. So I would go out and actually get in front of people, because that's what I'm talking about. If you're a lawn care business and you're writing articles on Facebook and you're trying to start out, you're not going to have any business. You're going to spend months writing articles on Facebook. That's not how people buy lawn services. What I would do is I would go out and acquire a customer base. Then I go build a website. Then I get on Facebook. Then I create content for those type of things. But that content's not content I'm naturally posting on Facebook, because Facebook's so wide. I'm building a list. So if I'm a lawn care business, the very best marketing channel that you're going to have is your email list. You should be relentlessly building your email list inside your community, all the homeowners that you touch, everybody that you meet. And then you're sending that type of thing out in a newsletter to both anchor the relationships that you have, making sure that your customers don't defect to another lawn care service. And at the same time, as you're building a list of people who aren't doing business with you, you stay in front of them so that if their lawn care company makes a mistake, takes them for granted, does something bad, you can flip them over to you. But if you're starting a business like that, the very first thing you need to do is go sell something so that you have cash flow, so that you can afford to have the time to build the content. And it's not the other way around. You start off with the content piece, you're going to starve to death, and you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be desperate because you're not going to have any business. And that's what I mean by the field of dreams. It's every business does that. Every business person, entrepreneur starting out. When I started this company 14 years ago, and the very first thing I did was plan to plan to plan. It was blogging and social media and all the other things around that. It wasn't generating sales, and I had to get a sort of a come into Jesus moment where, like, if I don't sell something, I'm going to have to go get a job. So I flipped the script and started picking up the phone and talking to people. And then I built a base of customers, and then I built a content marketing machine, and then I built a social media platform that is wide, and then I wrote books, and then I did all those things. But you have to have cash flow first. If you don't have any cash flow, you are going to go out of business, and that is just a fact.
I love that. So let's say somebody has, let's say something in the digital field. Let's say they are, a graphic designer. That's what they do. They do graphic design, and they're trying to create a niche for themselves. Talk about that, of how important it is for that graphic designer to say, okay, this is the kind of people I'm going to go after.
Well, targeting definitely matters. So I'll give you a great example of this. I did some business with a graphic designer and a copywriter out of Canada this winter, and we were working on some e-guides that we could give away to use as lead generators. And he targeted me in particular because we're a training and development company. So he had worked with other training and development companies. So he sends me an email, just sends an email out and says, it was a really well-written email. He followed a good process where he talked about me first and talked about his experience working with other training and development companies, and asked if we could get together for a meeting because he had a couple of ideas on one of our ebooks. So for me, it made a lot of sense. He was in my niche. We were in the process of completely redoing our website. So putting new skins on some of our lead generators made sense. So I reached out and called him, and we did business together. He did a project for me. So the same thing with a graphic designer. If you're starting your business, you need to understand, if you're going to work in a niche, what niche is that going to be, and then target that particular niche. I go back to the same thing. I didn't find this guy through content marketing. I found this guy because he reached out to me with a message that connected with me because he was in my niche. So if you're a graphic designer, clearly it's important that you have a website where people can look at your stuff. So the very first thing I did when he reached out to me is I clicked on his website and I went and looked at what he was doing. And it looked great. I mean, the immediate impression was, this guy's got it going on. He knows what he's doing. So if you're a graphic designer, it is important that you're going to have a website that's going to show people what you do. That's way different than someone who's starting a lawn care business. Starting a lawn care business is important. Yeah, you need a website, but you don't need a website to cut grass. But if you're a graphic designer, you're going to need to have something that looks really, really good that can profile your work. But that's easy to do because there's so many easy ways to set up websites today, Wix and Square and web.com and all these other places that are out there. So it's easy to do that. You would set that up, but then you need to target businesses, niches that fit you.
Hope you enjoyed this episode from the Grow and Scale Now Summit. Again, you can get your free ticket now at growandscalenow.com.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Real Life Leadership. If you'd like to get the show notes or access more resources, log on to reallifeleaders.com/podcast to get the show notes from this episode and any other resources we might have mentioned. And also, we'd love to hear from you. Be sure to review or rate this podcast on Apple Podcasts to help spread the word. And if you have any leadership questions you want answered, email podcast@reallifeleaders.com.